Heavenly Father, please let my words be my prayer. And thank you for this time in my life to be alive. It's a great time to be alive. And I was put here for you to complete this mission as my only thought process. And I come to you here as a Navajo woman. And I don't just fight for my people, I fight for all people. And that was put into my heart by the Lord. Because this is an organic campaign that's bent on truth. It is walking with the Lord. But when I first came out of the gate for Congress, I was actually running on the federal races. It was to tweak policy. The reason why that got me on the ground was Ben Ray Lujan, Udall, Heinrich, who doesn't even live here. These guys put restrictions on forestry on federal lands, and that's part of the reservation. We weren't allowed to log. That year, people froze. They also shut down our coal industry. That year, people froze. They're dying in their homes because it's too cold. They were burning in those fireplaces, their clothes, trash, whatever they could to stay warm. And meanwhile, people don't even think about what's really happening. I hauled wood for those people. I hauled coal, and I brought it in with husband. And we worked hard trying to save my people. And I thought, I just have to tweak policy so they don't ever do that again. It was scary. This is the fishbowl that they were talking about. Am I ready to climb in that fishbowl and let everybody look at me and judge me and call me the craziest names? Am I ready to let my children walk through that fire with me? Is my husband going to stand with me and not get angry, but have forgiveness in his heart because he has to watch his wife get abused mentally, emotionally, spiritually? The only part we're missing is physically. Am I really going to have to go through that part of the abuse? I don't know. How bad is New Mexico? Then they never let you have control of the education. Education is part of the process of liberating your children. Our forefathers put that in books, our Bibles, reading, understanding, pushing the Constitution and letting it fight for you, not you trying to defend it. It should be in front of you. But we don't have that education. They did it on purpose. Now we have a bunch of generations. A lot of us, even my generation, Generation X, we didn't even know what the Constitution was. I had to go myself and figure it out. They are coming for you. This is going to be the 30 by 30 next. No one knows what that is. It's 30% of all lands and water going to be put under the federal government. New Mexico's already at 34%. So now if they're going to take 30, we're going to hit 64%. Then you got the 50 by 50 that was put into play when Kamala Harris, before she left, said it. It was actually put in there through the House by Deb Haaland of New Mexico. 50 by 50 is 50% of all lands and water will be put under federal control. Now you have to factor in Indian country. That'll take New Mexico to 100% federal control. Why? This is going to be one big reservation. And then they're going to stick you with vaccinations to have you have brain aneurysms, have you have heart. Even my people, they lined up for the first experiment through fear. They used fear in the media to do it. And what they're going to do is they're going to make sure you're going to give up. They're going to squeeze until you move. Why? Because we are standing on one of the most lucrative resources in the nation. We have gold, we have silver, we have turquoise, we have copper, the real good stuff. We have oil and gas for the next 400, 700 years in that area, as well as coal. Tons and tons of coal up north. We could actually run the power grid for another 400 years. We could be a small Dubai if we had to close our borders. But we are not. We are the poorest state ever. Why? You know what? The government will never guarantee your prosperity, nor your safety, nor your freedom. This isn't for me. I take the abuse because I'm actually fighting for the young ones, her children, and her great-grandchildren. These people are not even here yet, but they're trying to kill them. Helping the Christian church here, the non-denominational pastors that are trying to feed the people. So we're going to be here, I guess, for another hour or so, feeding the homeless here and having a real understanding of what the people are going through. It's so sad because the people here, the feeling here, the energy is very hopeless. I know they're depressed. I know they want, there's tragedy in their lives. They're fighting, demons that have overcome all their intentions and purposes of their lives. So it's hard just to be here and talking with them, because you feel like crying, and you know, when you look at them and you see them, they have lost all hope. People, they sit here and they are in absolute despair. And this is our New Mexico. So this is my trek here. I guess being with the people, not just the people that are comfortable to us, not just our cliques and our political parties, but these are actually the people of New Mexico that are here, and we need to make sure that we pay attention to everybody, no matter the demographic. So I'm here to ask you all, if you really truly believe in New Mexico, then come out here and serve. We have decided to help with the San Miguel fire. There's a lot of the county, there's so much happening right now, and our phones have been ringing off the hook. And me and my husband, we've been looking at prices for hay. There's fires happening all over the country right now, it seems like, and hay and alfalfa is having a hard time. We're having a hard time finding hay and alfalfa, especially for cow hay grazer, and we've been looking for cracked corn, 3-way, 4-way, and different things that they're giving us a list of. So what we're trying to do is we've been out there talking to people. I ran into a couple firefighters. They're all from Oregon, so they are bringing in people from out of state to help fight this fire. And we are putting points of contact for anyone in the corridor, Albuquerque through Farmington, if you can. We don't have anyone here in Farmington just yet, but we do have a point of where you can drop off supplies. So what I'm going to do is go live right now so that you know what to take. We'll be hauling them, my team, the Bedonie Army, will be hauling from that point on up into the safe part of where the fire is and wherever they're situating people who are in need. Now what we're also doing is there's a ton of displaced livestock out there. Horses, cattle, sheep, pigs, chickens. I mean, they're all out there, and they're trying to push them out of the path of the fire, and they're consistently moving them, but the feed is being left behind because they don't have enough time. So we need to get immediate feed up there, and that's what we've been doing. Me and husband, we've been looking at all the farms. Nappy here in Farmington, New Mexico has a lot of these 1-ton bales for $160 to $170, and we need we have a flatbed. Me and my husband, we're gonna pull a 5th wheel, and we're gonna pack 12 ton on there, so we're gonna be able to transport that. This is what we're doing right now, guys. Campaign is now put on hold. This is more important as the people, and that's why we're doing this. Putting our time and effort, putting a halt on our personal businesses so that we can actually make time for this to happen. We got a hold of one of these cards here. You see? Karen Bedonie running to get Lujan Grisham reelected. And this is their tactic. It's pure lies. And if you weren't following me through my congressional run, when I was fighting the mandates, when I refused to get vaccinated, when I refused to be masked, meanwhile, he was supporting Michelle's mandates. He was saying, stay 6 feet away from each other. Get the jab. You need to follow protocol. You need to. He was talking about all this stuff. Where have you been? New Mexico has the worst education system, which means we are probably in poverty, which we all believe we are, because we're all fighting so hard to keep our livelihoods. We also have the highest unemployment rate, which shows that we are in poverty. So we are looking at policies that have impacted the people completely altogether. We also have the highest crime rate. The highest crime rate is part of the package of poverty. It's the byproducts of it. Also is alcoholism, drug abuse, domestic violence, child abuse. And these are things that you're seeing when you drive a people into poverty. So the policies that Michelle Lujan Grisham, yes, I'm talking to you, has done to New Mexico has put us in a very impoverished state. The byproducts are now manifesting and they're out of control. It's time that the Native Americans have a voice, and I am that voice. I'm also the voice for the unborn, because I know what we're really up against. We are up against losing our entire country because we are emotionally hung up and we cannot think through the processes, and we're going to sit on the fence and figure out what's happening. I am talking to you Democrats out there, you Christians out there, you know better. We have to stand together and we have to get this done, and we have to save our women, our uteruses, and our children. And we have to, as we've always done historically, we have to rebuild the population on the labor pains of every God-fearing woman. It is time to stop Planned Parenthood and all these other abortion clinics flooding in here. And it's with my candidacy and me winning as governor that I will be able to stop these clinicals happening and developing. And it's through education and also it's the economy. If you don't understand that, then you don't understand the bureaucracy. You also don't understand I don't need a law to help me, because when you put in protocol, also bureaucratic policy, we can change those and we can begin to heal our state. We are now hemorrhaging emotionally, spiritually, and mentally. Now we are physically out here doing nothing. So we are being suppressed and oppressed, and it's time that people need to stand up for me. Not just the Republicans, not just conservatives. We need the Democrats too. We need the people like my parents, the people like my grandparents, the people like my cousins. We need hardworking, we need the Catholics, we need the Christians, we need everybody to be standing together, united to save the state. This is our state. Know the truth. Research. I keep saying this. Do your research. Know your topics. This is why I am pro-life. That's just not the whole entire reason, but it's a big reason. And if you wanted actual facts, that is the reason. I do not believe in abortions, and it's not a women's health issue. I've come to run as an independent. I moved from the Republican side of things because I felt that I wasn't being heard and I wasn't going to be given a fair chance or a fair shot or a fair race. And the thing about that is they want to make sure that their candidates are controlled and they're saying the things that need them to say or not to say. But right now we are in such a difficult time that we have to be saying the difficult things that people don't want to hear. Like, we do need forensic audits. We do know there's corruption here. They do, like the fires, why are they starting all over the state right now? And what we're doing is we're trying to pick this apart and actually talk about the truth. So when they put a muzzle on you, that's when you realize that, wait a minute, you're impeding on my freedoms in the Constitution that you dangle out there in front of us like a carrot, but you refuse for me to use it. So I decided to run as an independent because of that fact, is because I am a candidate of the people. I am not about the party any longer, because all the parties seem to be either in cahoots, working together against each other, fighting each other, but then they all seem to be going down the same path of leading the people in the wrong direction. So I'm asking everyone to pray about it, have discernment. Get off the fence. Fence sitting is what put us, our whole country, in this whole predicament, because we did nothing. And it's your Christian duty to register to vote and get out there and vote. But now it's your New Mexican duty, not just to do that, to get out there, your truck stops, your gas pumps, your laundromats, your restaurants, your churches, your family. You make sure they know Bodoni.